Systemic drug delivery typically functions like a flood, washing over chemical and cellular environments indiscriminately. By contrast, engineered bacteria can be used to achieve active navigation, moving along physiological gradients to locate and attach to specific, localized targets. The primary limitation of traditional pharmacology is that drugs are static compounds. Once administered, they are incapable of evaluating local environmental data or adjusting their behavior based on the specific conditions they encounter. Synthetic biology bridges this gap by modifying bacterial genomes to enable dynamic responses within the body. These modified microbes are designed to continuously evaluate their microenvironment, triggering a therapeutic output only when and where they detect a specific disease signal. This strategy involves deploying biological agents that sense, compute, and act, the core requirements for a functional biological state machine. The design for such a system follows a macroscopic architecture of 3 distinct operational zones. As shown here, these are sensing, signal processing, and therapeutic output. During the sensing phase on the left, the bacterium detects extracellular markers. Whether it encounters the hypoxic conditions of a tumor or inflammatory cytokines in the gut, the cell translates these external markers into an internal signal. That input flows into the central signal processing capsule. This is a gene circuit that evaluates the signal to ensure the correct conditions for a response are present. If the circuit's criteria are met, it triggers the therapeutic output. This initiates localized synthesis of a payload, which can be applied to drug delivery, clinical treatments, or even environmental cleanup. Ultimately, the reliability of this macroscopic framework depends entirely on the stability of the microscopic genetic code that instructs it. The physical layer of this code is often stored in recombinant plasmids. These small, circular DNA molecules act as the hardware chassis where synthetic traits are installed into the bacterium. This sequence map of plasmid PKD4 GLU369 shows how a therapeutic payload is physically structured within that chassis. The black block on the right is the ampicillin resistance gene. This is a selection marker used during cultivation to ensure that only the bacteria successfully carrying the plasmid survive and grow. On the far left, the red OMP block encodes a specific signal sequence. This acts as a routing instruction, directing the synthesized payload through the cell's periplasm so it can be secreted externally. The central blue section contains the therapeutic gene. Because it is positioned between specific restriction sites, researchers can use DNA assembly techniques to rapidly swap this payload for different therapeutic proteins as needed. While this modularity allows for diverse payloads, the system requires a control mechanism to prevent the bacteria from expressing these genes constantly and causing systemic side effects. That control is achieved through biological Boolean logic. In this genetic circuit, multiple environmental inputs must be detected simultaneously before the cell is permitted to act. Specific chemical triggers, shown at the top left, act as the data inputs. These must converge on the bacterial membrane to start the computation. The signal then reaches the green regulatory module, which utilizes CRISPR interference, or CRISPR-I. This allows the circuit to regulate metabolic pathways without changing the host's fundamental genome. Depending on the logic of the inputs, the dCas9 complex physically blocks or opens access to the orange inducible promoter, which controls the firing of the therapeutic gene.
Flanking the output are ribo-J insulators. These are self-cleaving ribozymes that isolate different parts of the circuit to ensure that transcriptional activity from one section doesn't leak into another. Preventing this leakage is critical in environments like the human gut, where even a small off-target release of a therapeutic agent can disrupt the delicate local equilibrium. By utilizing CRISPR-I and ribozyme insulators, bioengineers have effectively programmed computational logic into organic chemistry. Because the hardware and software layers are modular, this same architecture can be adapted for very different goals. Table 1 illustrates how a single matrix of logic can serve therapeutic, environmental, industrial, and agricultural needs. In medicine, non-pathogenic E. coli can be programmed to survive specifically in low-oxygen tumor zones, where it then delivers a targeted surface display of interleukin-18 to stimulate an immune response.
In agriculture, removing the AMPT-B gene from Geobacter sulfuridescens creates a biofertilizer that fixes nitrogen at twice the rate of its wild-type counterparts. For the environment, toxic heavy metals can be used as the trigger for cyanocystis strains, which then express peptides to bind and remove those metals from contaminated water. While these applications are diverse, they all rely on the integrity of the synthetic circuit, a circuit that faces constant evolutionary pressure. Maintaining these synthetic circuits requires significant energy. Because this creates a metabolic burden, a random mutation that breaks the circuit will often give the cell a survival advantage over its functional neighbors. As the population grows, these mutated cells, which no longer carry the metabolic cost of the circuit, can rapidly outcompete the functional engineered cells. Another major bottleneck is horizontal gene transfer, which presents a separate biosafety risk. Engineered cells can physically connect to wild bacteria in the environment. Through this process, they can duplicate and transfer their synthetic plasmids to native populations. This risk of spreading transgenic DNA, or antibiotic resistance, requires the implementation of hardware-level biocontainment strategies. To move toward wide deployment, these organisms must be programmed to self-terminate if they escape their intended environment. One solution is the genetic kill switch. In these systems, if a specific environmental input is removed, the production of an antitoxin stops, allowing a continuously produced toxin to degrade the cell's DNA and kill it. These switches ensure that the bacteria cannot survive outside the specific thermal or chemical conditions for which they were designed. A second strategy is auxotrophy, where the bacterium is genetically modified so it can no longer produce a compound essential for its survival. This makes the organism entirely dependent on an external, synthetic supply of that compound, which it cannot find in the wild. By combining these dual mechanisms, bioengineers satisfy international biosafety standards by making uncontrolled proliferation physically impossible. Future generations of these circuits are now being optimized using machine learning and genomic-scale metabolic models. These computational tools allow researchers to predict mutation rates and metabolic bottlenecks before the first sequence of DNA is ever synthesized. These developments have moved engineered bacteria from the realm of theory into the reality of programmable biological state machines. By mastering this cellular hardware, we are establishing a new way to address health, industrial, and climate challenges through living, scalable technology.